Welcome to another episode.
What kind of day?
Take a moment.
How long's a moment?
These were the technical themes.
Yeah, the movies.
Fans, the music, the excitement of it all.
When you see that they're doing it out of love.
Not at all. Thank you.
It's true though, it's funny. Good morning and welcome to another episode of Climb the Mountain. Today's a really special day. We have Millie, who is a life coach to me and a dear, dear friend who has joined us today. So
Thank you so much for having me.
take it away. Tell us a little bit about you and who you are and what you're up to.
Okay, I am Millie, Melissa, and I am a life coach in Cape Town. I am also a wife and mother to two beautiful children. I am born and raised in Cape Town. Coaching is something that I have been passionate about probably my whole life. It's definitely come quite naturally to me, but I got into it professionally about 2 years ago. I did my course, my coaching course about 7 or 8 years ago. And the reason for getting into it was because I was struggling with relationships at the time. So I do consider my coaching to be more relationship specific. And the reason for that is, I have also been in a 27-year relationship myself with my husband of 17 years. And 11 years ago, my parents, when I was 31 years old, were getting a divorce. They'd also been together for 40 years at the time. And my sort of external reference point was sort of pulled out from underneath me, and a lot of beliefs that I had around relationships and the way things should look everything sort of changed after that.
Foundational collapse.
Foundational collapse, if you want to call it that. Yeah, absolutely. And from that, I started asking around, and what I realized actually is that I was going through quite a lot on a personal level, and it was spilling over into my family life because I had a lot of frustration and questions and anger.
You would have had a new baby too.
My babies at the time were 3 and 1. Yeah, so I was very much a new mother.
Wow.
With my own family that I was trying to navigate, as well. So that was also really difficult for me at the time. And I started asking for help. I started asking around, and I met one sort of person led to another, and I got in touch with the Peter King, who's the guy I did my course through. And I started the course, and what I found was, I was also looking, I guess, searching also for my own answers as to who I am and what my
without
place is.
this structure that's kind of with pillars of support now.
Without the structure that sort of built me, who was I,
After that.
And it was
almost a re-identification thing taking place at 31.
Absolutely. So there's never a time frame or timeline, I believe, for when these things occur. And as I say, to ask for help and then, land up in a position where you are
The helper.
And that was the thing, right? Is that I went to do the course. And what I found in doing that is actually I landed up in the right place because it was something that I did naturally as a person. And I realized my gift of listening and holding space.
Which you do incredibly, by the way.
Thank you. I think it's because it really does come naturally. It's not something that I have to force or try and do. It's
very intuitive. You're very intuitive with your understanding of people. And with you too, I just want to interject as there's a lot of things you haven't experienced, but yet I think it's not the textbook that's talking, it's more the intuitive, spiritual aspect of you and the fact that you're so present.
Yeah.
So you're almost like when you're working with us, with me, you're you're absolutely there in the moment, feeling and experiencing everything that I'm going through. And that's so rare to find.
Yeah.
It's very profound.
That is exactly how it feels. It really does.
It's pretty shitty then.
It's, you know what? I mean, listen, obviously over the last 10 years, I've had to really get clear on my boundaries as well, you know, and as a coach, you really need to know those for yourself too, because and this was something that I had to learn in my course.
Because you're so caring and you want to fix.
Yes, absolutely. I am that naturally. But you know, you've got to obviously keep yourself sort of separate from your clients, right? Because it's their story. It's not mine. I have my own story, but when I'm there as a coach and I'm listening, I'm holding space, but I'm not taking on what it is. And that's what I had to learn. Yeah. And that takes time. It really does. So I feel, it took a little while to get into it and to also figure out who I was. And as I say, you know, at that age of 32, 33,
Do you think,
34,
you should know by now and it's all pretty solid?
No, it was definitely and a continuous ongoing journey of getting to know myself. And, you know, as I say, as a relationship coach, it's not only a relationship that you have with someone else, it's the relationship that you are building with yourself, that you keep with yourself, that you have with yourself, the truths that you hold with yourself, you know. So my coaching is not only specific for relationships, which I do feel very passionate about. And that's all kinds of relationships. So whether it's a romantic relationship, whether it's a mother-daughter relationship, whether it's siblings, whatever, you know, self, and even just the relationship that you have with food, the relationship you have with your work. You know, relationships is actually quite a broad topic. It's not just one-sided or one sort of thing. You know, it's quite broad in the sense. Yeah. So that was how I got into it. And it's been a journey and I'm absolutely loving it. I meet the most incredible people, you being one of them. So that's why I'm here today. I feel so grateful. And that's where I'm at the moment with regards to the coaching. Exploring other avenues and starting now to do group work as well. I hosted my first workshop recently in a group environment, and that was
beautiful.
Yeah, it was really special because one-on-one is one thing, and I again, that presence that you can have with a person really creates a beautiful sense of trust and there's such a wonderful thing that you can get between obviously one and, you know, just one another. But when there's a group and there's sharing
energy, yes,
and there's sharing amongst others, you slowly or quickly realize that everyone has a story. And you don't have to be afraid of yours. You know, once you hear others share, it becomes quite a natural thing to sort of step out of what you're in, only to realize that it's safe there because
everyone's going through
something, you know, and it's all relative. So it was really lovely to be in that space. And I hope to do more of them. Yeah.
I love that. No, it's definitely interesting. We had a quick chat last night and I felt like quite a selfish friend because I realized I didn't know your parents. I didn't know half the things that we quickly discussed. We'd talk about potentially today that may come up. So that was quite interesting. So you definitely held space. Yes. And kept it very professional. But it's really interesting to hear that because from the outside, from many onlookers, you and David are divine and it's very inspiring. Your marriage is one of the things that inspired me to work with you because it's so solid and he's so lovely and it's so healthy. So it was interesting for me last night, and your kids are gorgeous. My kids know your kids. It's just lovely.
Thank you.
It was interesting to hear that you've had that kind of tower moment, as you'd say, or that experience, particularly with your family. I didn't know that. So that makes a lot of sense. There's where you draw your experience.
Yes.
for a lot of the coaching principles that you put in place. And for me, it's been profound. We hadn't even shot a podcast when we began. And so a big part of part of why we're here today is Millie, because she's been like, accountability. What's happening with the podcast? Let's write a list. Let's do this. Go off and do it. Come back. And it's just been one foot in front of the other. It's been amazing.
Lots of intention, that's,
And trusting self. I think that's what I take away from you the most. Like trusting myself and then having someone validate, actually, yeah, you can trust yourself. And I'm like, oh, good. Yeah, okay. Because most of the world is told that you can't. Yes. We're told we can't trust ourselves. You're being ridiculous. Your head's in the clouds. You're just not focused. And actually, we do have a calling and a focus a lot of the time, and it's inside of us. So it's nice when people can see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to sort of, have a desire and, as you say, we all have a story, but, that is just part of who we are. It's not all of us or everything of us, so there's so much more to us, which are these desires and goals and aspirations and passions. But it does take, yes, a lot of work on self in order to actually bring that out of ourselves and bring that to light and bring that to life. Sure. And watching you over the last 2 years come out of, yes, where you...
Those things we shall not discuss at this time.
Yes, no, and
yes.
Yeah, just
big stuff.
Yes, exactly. And to see you here today, you're living proof of it. And so you ask about me. So there was a time where if I think about myself and what I went through in that time, you become someone you don't recognize. But there is nothing wrong with that. There actually is nothing wrong with not recognizing yourself, because by sitting in that, you learn and you grow. And that's what life is all about, is moving through
discomfort.
Moving through that discomfort and knowing that it is a period of time. It's a portion, and you will, with work and decision and choice, because that's ultimately what it is about. You have free will to move from one place to another and not, stay
stuck.
Not stay there. And I mean, with the coaching, that is really what it's about, is to gain perspective on your own life and look at it from an aerial view. And, it's like, oh, okay, so that's what it looks like from above. And I get to move differently. I get to choose differently. And you just then, as you say, put one foot in front of the other, what we like to call gradient, because, one step at a time is a lot more beneficial than trying to take these giant leaps, saying that.
And pushing yourself when you're not ready. I think that's also crucial.
Well, it is a process, right? It's, I guess what leads to pushing yourself before you're ready.
An expectation that isn't ready to be, accumulated yet.
Yeah.
But I think one of the things you said in our talk as well recently that's been really profound too, and it is something that we've discussed on the podcast before with others, is I think as humans we expect we're going to have like one massive meltdown and we're going to overcome it and we've made it, or we're a failure and a loser, whichever way you want to go. But what's so prevalent is the truth is it's a consistent hitting the wall, crashing, coming back up, and it ebbs and flows and it moves, and it's not something that's just once. You can have so many meltdowns, so many rock bottoms, and So my question with this to you is, what if you could put like a little toolbox together? I ask everyone this question because everyone's answer is so different and unique, and I love that. What sort of coping tools would be your top 5 to put into that little toolbox to hand over to somebody who's going through some of the same things you've discussed today?
So it is, that's quite a good question. I think first and foremost, you need to get to know what your values are. What do you value the most? It was quite an interesting topic in my course and how I work with my clients is, when you actually get clarity on what you value, you get such a better understanding of who you get to know yourself a lot better than what you
So
thought
just
you did.
clarifying what's brutally important to you, not other people's expectations or things, just your core values and your
your core values, what is it? And remember, those can change. They don't have to stay the same. But that for me really solidified so much about myself. And, when I do the exercise with my clients as well, I get to know them quite a lot better and faster when they can be truthful about what their values are. And truth being another important aspect of a toolbox for me, because I think the more truthful you're able to get with yourself, if you've got a specific circumstance or something that you are dealing with, whatever that may be, the more truthful you're willing to get with yourself, if you're looking to achieve some sort of result, in whatever it is that you're going through, the more truthful you are to get to know yourself in that way, the quicker you're going to get to the result, because there's something there,
sustenance,
some sort of sustenance. Yes. And your intuition is speaking to you, which I think is also another tool that is also very important to me, is to slow down. To slow down.
That's my logo.
Slow down and listen. We are often in such a rush.
We're in a rush to get finished all the things that we need to do, whereas the slowing down actually completes the exercise.
That's the thing, because
Slow and steady wins the race.
Yes, which leads us to attention. Once we actually pay attention to ourselves, so much gets to happen. The other one of those that sort of forms part of that for me is intention. What are you actually intentional about? Are you being intentional about anything? Or are you quite sort of scattered and you wanting the result of something, or you wanting to find a solution, or sort of move, or, get out of your own way, but yet you're not getting
Can't quite make it.
Well, and could it be because your attention and intention is not? So once we place some form of attention and intention onto something as humans, we are able to move mountains.
Yeah.
Literally. Yes. So
absolutely.
And again, proof. And with regards to the slowing down, that it was in a tool sort of kit kind of way. There are lots of different ways you can do that. Breath work is very, very helpful. It doesn't have to be breath work in the sense that you need to necessarily know what you're doing, but just to close your eyes or keep them open if you feel more comfortable, take an intentional breath, become present with yourself. In coaching, we do 4 square breathing.
Yeah, same in yoga.
Yes, and again, a simple tool.
Gets you really grounded and in your body.
Grounds you.
I think that's the key too, is a lot of the rushing is you're not in your body.
You're not in your body. You're in your head, and and listen, we live in a world where there are so many distractions and there are so many things happening, around us. And it's not only our lives, as a mother, we're taking care of so many people. So, it's a lot. It's a lot to be responsible for. But yeah, there is always 2 minutes in a day, and if you can give that to yourself, and it doesn't have to even be daily, it can just be something that something that you can manage. So I think slowing down, breathing, actually paying attention to your breath, and being intentional. I think probably the last out of the 5, but also super important, is to have boundaries in your life, not just to sort of have this open access to you, learning to use no as a full sentence, because what you are experiencing or dealing with or going through is just as important as anybody else's, So I think also getting clear on your boundaries and, that as a toolbox. Yeah, there's a lot in that, I suppose, but it can also be simple if you get to work on it.
And reframe things and reset.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, reframing is a big part of the work I do, because sadly, also what ties in with values is your beliefs. What do you truly believe? What is sitting, again, at the core of you that's running the show? Is it programming? Is it your own sense of direction?
Inner child wounding.
Yes. So what? Yeah. So what is it that is running the show in terms of patterns?
I think a lot of it is inner child wounding and how we've been brought up, isn't it? And we're just running around as adults, expressing and projecting all of that. And it's been quite poignant for me to find that out and start, working from a completely different place. I think what's helped me with that is I shouldn't say I don't care. If someone doesn't like me or something, it's fine. It's not, you're not living for others anymore, and you don't have this expectation that you allow others to place on you. That's been very freeing for me.
Yes, there is so much freedom in that. And I think often, at the base of our beliefs is that we need to believe what someone's taught us to believe, but
that inner voice that isn't even from you.
Well, this is it, it takes me back to my folks' divorce and my parents' divorce. And, I had all these beliefs around these kinds of things. And even though I was in it myself, it made me question.
Did you think like maybe because their marriage didn't work, mine might not be so perfect, and they were together for such a long time, and it started...
Well, it makes you question
everything.
What led them to that.
Of course.
What led them to that. And as an up and coming, as a younger version of what I was witnessing, it's like, okay, well, where was
not go down that road.
Where was the demise? What happened? What happened along the way? When did they stop listening to one another? When did they stop paying attention?
How do we learn and divert from that?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So there was so much that came from that. So your beliefs and how that shifts when your external reference point is sort of taken out from underneath you, and you come to the realization that you need to become your own reference point. There is an internal reference point within all of us, and it's just about sort of slowing down enough to get to know, yourself, what's sitting underneath the being, what's sitting underneath all of the programming and all of the beliefs and all of the things that we've been taught, and told and conditioned to be, and to bring that out, I guess become a little bit more childlike again, but in an adult version, to get curious and ask questions. And as a coach, by asking questions, you really learn. You really open the space and allow somebody to get to know themselves better.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And how do you feel now with I know that you've recently lost your dad, and I'm deeply sorry for that.
Thank you.
And I witnessed some of that journey, which was quite up and down because you had to go overseas to see him. And I remember over Christmas you were away and he was desperately ill and might not have made it. And so you had to ride out your family's Christmas, hold it together, and I did see David in the gym and he was explaining this, so I had a little bit more a little bit more insight. Holding it together for the kids for Christmas, hopefully making it there in time. You did make it there, and I mean that experience and time with the two of you looked so beautiful.
It really was. Again, time and presence and slowing down. And I mean, I'm forever grateful to have had those 2 weeks with my father, because I don't.
And your brothers came in from overseas too.
Yes, my brothers came from overseas. I mean, I would say that was probably the first time the four of us had been together like that in 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So, families are also then with a divorced, family like that at the age of 31. My mom went this way and my dad went that way, and the three kids sort of did the same, scattered. And it was a really beautiful thing to have had that opportunity. To be honest, that is the way I see it. It was devastatingly difficult, and there were moments in those 2 weeks, again, where I had to find that compass and sit with it, sit with her, sit with myself. And again, in the depths of that pain, you learn, you hear the voices come up, and some of those voices are not what you want to hear. Some of those voices are terrifying and scary, and, that sense of being alone, but knowing that you're not alone. And the tools, I honestly feel as though the last 10, 11 years of my life had brought me to that point, in the sense
Preparing
that
you for that journey.
what I'd been through all those years ago was definitely the start of the journey of where it led me, which was actually in preparation for when I would eventually lose a parent, and there is no easy way of dealing with those emotions. Move your body was a big, and I have always moved my body. So since a very young age, as a teenager, I've been very in touch with my body and listening and learning and developing, a sense of self in that aspect. And when I was in Malta visiting my dad, there were obviously lots of time that I had on my own, and intuitively I knew that I needed to move my body, because there were so many emotions that were trying to destroy me, trap me, keep me there, and as I would move my body, as the emotions would come, there would be this sense of relief and release. And so moving my body, being okay with also sharing how I felt. So even though I felt incredibly vulnerable, incredibly, I literally, it was my dad and his partner at the time that were there, and obviously my brothers when they eventually arrived. But, being able to share as you go how you feel is also, there's so much relief in that.
So much freedom to it, perhaps. Yes.
Yes. So there was that. And again, a sense of seeing it for what it was, and actually looking at it through a lens, again, of opportunity, not only this
destructive pain.
Yeah. That I get to be here, that I have a husband at home that was able to, as the words he used, hold the fort while I was saying goodbye to my dad, saying goodbye to my father, spending these last 2 weeks with him and my brothers, because that was what I thought it was going to be. Having somebody that you trust to be able to talk about these things is crucial. And it doesn't have to be a specific person. It can be someone in your life. Sometimes that turns out to be somebody you never thought, so, just allowing it to move. So moving my body, the tools that I had obviously learnt over the years of coaching and doing the course, remembering my values.
But also staying very present. Nowhere in there have you mentioned disassociating, isolating, shutting down, just being in your body, moving your body, super, super present, super accepting, which is massive. Accepting a situation like that.
That word has replayed in my mind for the last 8 months. And my dad helped me tremendously with that, because when he shared the news with me, at the end of November last year. His words were, "I have accepted this and I need you to as well." And I think I was the good little girl that listened. And it was radical acceptance that I then practiced over the space of
6 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, from the time of diagnosis to death was just about 6 months to the day. And in that time, as I say, it was repetition of acceptance. How do you accept?
Almost drum it into yourself.
Well, this is it. How do you accept something?
That's so awful and sad and
That's
painful.
so awful and sad. And the truth is that some days you don't actually feel like you're experiencing grief because you are allowed to also
Feel shit.
but not actually feel good.
Yeah.
You know, so I also allowed myself to live my own life as well because I have a husband and I have children and I am me. I'm not just a daughter experiencing grief. I'm also Melissa experiencing my own life while I'm experiencing grief. So that allowing of joy in moments, you know, and you know, we usually do our December holidays away, and I was going through it. It was so tough, but I still
Stuck it out.
well, I still got up in the mornings, and if I had a big cry, that was okay. But if I wanted to slide down the water slide with my children at 1:00 in the afternoon with my arms up in the air in absolute joy, that's what I did as well. Nice. So I allowed myself in all of its, in the wholeness of me to come through.
I love that.
And that is what I think is difficult, you know, to be everything, to allow yourself to be everything. And I think in that you're practicing acceptance because then when he's gone or when he then eventually did pass, you do need to go back to your life. There needs to be a life to go back to. And there needs to be a sense of, what's the word? Tangible. Okay, so where was I? Yeah.
Yeah.
And this big breath. Yeah. That is what it took
Feeling
on,
it. Because
on
I've
most
seen
days.
this. And what's crazy too is you came back after saying goodbye and then he's like,
And then he returned.
I'm coming to Cape Town. I'm still here and we're going to do it all again. And you're like, what?
Emotional roller coaster, as I say.
Beautiful as that is to have to like close off goodbye, all the tears and then like, ta-da, I'm coming to visit now.
My dad gave me
He sounds like quite a funny chap.
He is a character. He still is. And yeah, as we definitely shared a sense of spirituality, the two of us. And he wrote the most beautiful poem. And so much of that poem reminded me, or he wanted to remind us that he is not gone.
That's so
and that
he's always with you.
And that he's always with. So I truly believe that. And I know
that.
I know based on years of asking myself the question, what do I believe? I really choose to believe that that is what it is. You know, endings.
I believe that too.
Endings are beginnings. You know, endings are beginnings. And I have a new beginning now that I get to be a part of and pave the way for, and more growth and more learning and more fun, you know.
And you can really teach people about grief in that the way you've encapsulated this today is so beautiful and so healing. It's almost like a gift, you know?
Yeah.
So
it feels like that.
Yeah.
It really does. Our experiences are gifts, actually.
But it depends if you fight them. If you're going to fight it or you're going to embrace it.
So that's where the acceptance comes in. And I can say that, yeah, the way we choose to look at things.
It's so imperative. Yeah.
Yeah. And there is a choice. There is a choice. And I mean, you know that. I don't have to explain that to you. I think, in our many discussions, choice and decision making is up to us. It really is. It's up to us. And there always is a choice and there always is a decision.
I think you hit the nail on the head with like, I've experienced something recently that I won't go into. It's not my podcast today, but really difficult things. And you hit the nail on the head where you said, you still got up on your holiday, getting up. I mean, when I'm having a difficult time recently, I've just written a list. And if I bash out that list or even half of it, I'm stoked. By the end of the day, it's cool and it's been really tough, but I'm not going to wallow. And I'm still going to get on with the expected tasks and complete my responsibilities. And through just doing those small steps, I feel like a good human, and it's lighter. That load at the end of the day is lighter, and you've done the work, and then it's easier, and the acceptance kind of comes in, and
Definitely does.
you
Because
just all of a sudden going day by day.
but this is the same, right? I mean, I'm definitely all for, like I say, slowing down and allowing yourself to feel what it is that you're feeling.
Don't sit and rot.
But well, yeah, and everybody move. Just move. Small movements.
Keeping that routine going is what helps me.
Definitely. I think most of us, routine and it doesn't have to look the same every day. Some days you struggle more, and even when you get up, you feel out of focus and it feels foggy and your emotions are running high and you don't quite know how to show the world, yourself in that moment. But the truth is that everyone is going through something. And I feel also, having, I've got 2 teenagers, and to have also been able to show them that I have days where I am struggling and what that looks like.
Human. Yeah.
And then have days where even though I'm struggling, I'm up.
Yeah.
I'm up and I'm there and I'm making their sandwiches and I'm taking them to school and I fetch them from school and I ask them how their day is, even though they know mine was hard. So also as a mom, you learn, and it's interesting because when you're losing a parent, that word responsibility
becomes so much bigger, I bet.
Yeah. The responsibility, it's almost like you
all on you. Yeah.
Yeah. You go from being the child to being the parent like that. And that word responsibility becomes so...
It's scaring me right now hearing it.
It's exactly.
So much bigger than the
word.
word.
But it doesn't have to be if you give yourself that space, if you give yourself that space to do things that you're capable of.
And it doesn't have to be perfect.
Exactly. Perfectionism doesn't actually exist. This was also a big part of, my dad had stage 4 cancer. To hear that is also for somebody who considers health and wellness, and it's really difficult to hear that as well. So you realize, and with my parents' divorce, this perfectionism, it's like, what is that? It's maybe not even
a thing.
Yeah. It's substance and life and experiences and as you were saying earlier, ups and downs and ebbs and flows that actually create a life, not this perfect,
fake one. Exactly.
Yeah. So real things.
I love that. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
So lovely to have you.
It's just so lovely to be here.
Yes.
So lovely to be here. And I'm so proud of you.
I'm proud of you. Thank you.